Hi, friends. I thought today I wanted to just share a little technique that I use in order to add a little bit of detail. For me, because I am not a detail person, this is quite fine for me. I think this is very beautiful and soft. Um, at the same time, for those of you that do like that detail, I thought I'd go in and just show you a little quick technique that I have used over the years. So I did this painting quite some time ago, probably a year and a half ago. And I'm going to go in and I'm just going to add, using pen, I'm going to add some detail. I noticed that recently I posted something and it had some detail in there with pen and ink, and you all liked it quite well. So I thought that might be fun for a beginner to get some detail without having to learn how to put fine lines in and things. Now, today I am very intentionally and purposefully just using an ink pen. Make sure whatever pen you use a water, it isn't water soluble, because otherwise, if you are painting or using pen on anything wet, it's just going to blur and kind of create a mess. So there are micron pens and things you can purchase, but I'm just using your regular old ballpoint. This is a zebra pen. Okay, so what you're going to do is just go in and really, it's quite easy and simple, but has such a great impact. Just follow some of the lines that the watercolor naturally created for you. And that's what's so wonderful about this technique when I've done it in the past is you're not even really having to think about it. You're just following some of these lines that the watercolors have blended and kind of already put there for you. And I'm just going to pick and choose and be very free with where I'm putting these lines. So let me just show you that process. Again, I'm just using a ballpoint zebra pen. As long as it's, not water soluble, you'll be fine and it won't blur. And actually, even at this point, because this painting I did a year ago and it's not wet, it would be fine anyway, but just to note that. So here I go. They're really, again, I'm just doing this quite organically, and I'm just going to follow some of these lines that are already here because of the paint. And, let's see what you think. Okay, so hopefully I don't block your vision here. There we go. Now I might add in some more back here. I really just kind of let my hand move across. I'm not getting too caught up in perfectionism here. I'm actually not even going directly following the actual paint lines because I don't want to be nitpicky here and I don't want to be perfect about this. I want it to have a little bit of that abstract type of feel. So I'm really just, kind of almost scribbling like. Okay, so look how fun that is. I love this technique. I think it's really fun, and actually in high school I entered a couple of my paintings in art events, and I won for my pen and ink. Now I used the Indian ink and I did a lot of dots and things, but it was quite fun. So as you see here, I've got a natural line and I'm just kind of tracing it. I'm going out of the lines here. Just really have fun. Give yourself permission to kind of play here. Okay? Go out of the lines a little bit. Look at how beautiful that is. And so easy. I mean, the watercolors really are outlining for you. All you're doing is kind of playing with it. I might kind of, I typically don't do a lot with the leaves and things. I just really go into the actual flowers. That's just my technique. There's no right or wrong here. You're just really playing. And don't add in too much. You want it to be very free, very flowy and organic, because otherwise it's just going to get too spotty and messy and busy. So you don't want to do that. So I think this is quite fun. I'm basically done. That's it. So let me see if I might, here's another one. Now this one, because the paint is a little bit darker, I don't know if I would be going in and doing this, but let's play and see what happens. This actually is a great painting to share with you on values. I'm always talking about creating depth in your paintings. Look at the beautiful value I used here. This is very light value, which means more water versus paint. This is darker value. This is darker value. These beautiful light values I have in here. I actually really love this painting. I need to think of something I can maybe do with that. But I just feel like there's a lot of push and pull and depth and yet simplicity. So actually, I don't even think I'm going to use pen on this because I just really like the look. It's for the most part very analogous colors, basically greens. I think my playing here I was trying to do was to just use two colors. So I used my greens and I used a little bit of that cad yellow, and look at how beautiful, just playing with adding more water and less water, and look at the beautiful, unique and interesting piece I got here. There's my white space in here, very pretty, and that depth. I would say the composition piece here is number one. I love how these little parsley leaves are kind of guiding your eye and just playing with your vision, leading you in and out. I really, for such a simple little piece here I created, I really, really love it. I believe as well I painted this with an angular brush, okay? And that's how I got all these, very easy. I left a lot of white space, as I've told you. I tend to leave most of the white space at the base of petals and leaves like this. So I think this is very beautiful. I wanted to try and maybe find one I could go into with some pen and ink. As you see here, I was kind of playing with that pen and ink to see what I could get. Let me just look a little bit more here and see if I have something. So here's some little sweet peas. I could do it on those. Now these I painted about a year ago. So I think they're quite fine like this. I think they're very soft and beautiful. But what I could do is go in and just start playing like this. And just really letting your hand play. Okay? Following this. Now look at here. I've got a natural line created by the darker pigment. So I'm going with that. I'm going to just kind of follow that. For here, I've got the same thing. I've got these darker pigments here, But first, I'm going to go around the outside. I'm following some of the darkened lights, like that. And now I might go in there and just really letting my pen play. So following the outside, following this inside line. You know, I might even do something like that. This has some lines in it already. There you go. I'm done. And look at that fun little detail. I could go in here and play with this really some more. I could follow this line right here. So that's, I have gone into old paintings before and done this on a number of them. And it's really fun. Look at how beautiful that is. Okay, let me check if I have one more here. Let's see. I don't think I do. That is about it. So, you know, have fun with this technique. Here's one right here. I'm just following the lines that are already here, okay? There's no real right or wrong, just getting very playful. Here's a leaf. Okay. Just playing. Following the watercolor lines, which are already there for you. Here's one. Just letting your hand play with these. So I hope that was kind of fun. I hope it inspires you to maybe try that. We could even use, I don't think I liked this sunflower I did, so I might as well play with it. And I was trying a really watery, wet and wet, and I just think it came out, I didn't care for it. But let's just play with it and see what we can do with the pen and ink. Sometimes it makes it better. So I'm just letting my pen, look at that. I mean, I actually think I might have just saved this painting. There you go. Let's do this one. I'm just following the paint lines that are here. And again, don't follow them perfectly. Kind of go out of the lines. It's almost a form of abstract. Okay? Look at that. I think I might have just saved this painting. Here's some leaves. Let's do this one here. Again, I'm following the paint lines that are here and really just letting my pen go. And this has happened with me numerous times where I went back to a painting, I started playing with it, and it actually came out quite nice. So take some of your paintings that, you know, you've already done and play with this technique. Paintings that you're maybe looking at and saying, I really don't like that. And just play with it. I might even, here, let's play with this. What I didn't like about this is it was kind of looked like this blob. So go into my white paint here. There we go. This is Winsor Newton, by the way. And let's make a couple dots here. Now look at that. That made a huge difference in this painting. So never throw your paintings away, because I always go back into them. And, you know, if you really don't like them, why not play with them and practice some techniques? Look at how now I actually like this painting. I went in with my pen and ink. I added some white. And I think this is quite beautiful. Look at that. Let's check one more and see if maybe there's something else here. I could do the same with this one here. I want to be careful because that's wet. So let's play with this one, which actually is quite nice, just like this. But let's go in with some pen. I really want you, you know, there's also techniques you can use to just try them out. Try out techniques you've been wanting to play with. Go back and look at your notebook of these paintings that you kind of thought, I don't like that, don't want to see it again, I'm just going to tear it up, throw it away, whatever, and go back and play with them. So again, I think this is quite nice. I think I'll go in and add some white here too. Let's just play with these. Again, I'm letting the paint strokes kind of dictate where I'm putting these lines. So I'm just following the paint lines that are already there. Okay, look at that. I quite like all of these. And go out of the lines. Don't stick within the lines. Just like so. Now I'm going to go back in here and add some of that white again. So let me go in, grab my white. This was a painting I wouldn't have done anything with. These are just all my practices. So let's go in, add some white. Look at that. I very rarely use white, but you know, let's play. Add some white. Now the other thing I might do here is I feel like all of these flowers are kind of the same value. So what I really want to do here is go into my green, my sap and my olive green, maybe even a little of that gold green. And let's add in another value here. So I'm going to go into, let's see, right here. So point press. Now that wasn't as dark as I'd like it, so I'm going to add more paint. Okay, a darker value is more paint, more pigment versus water. So let's just try that again and try to get a dark value. Okay, here we go. Point, press, like that. I think I'm going to add one in here. So this is really fun, I think. I do this a lot when I go through my old paintings. I add in, I just play with them. So I'm going to grab some of this gold green, add that in there. So that's quite thick. It's got a lot of pigment. And let's go in here, point, like that. Look at that. Now let's go in and add a very light value leaf in the background. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to use this palette and just use this very watery light value. Remember this, the parsley I just showed you had that light values that made it really interesting. So let's go in here. There we go. I don't even know if you can see that. Let's see, where could we put another one? Point, press. Look at that. Now that isn't even necessarily a sunflower leaf, but look at how much more interesting this became. Let's add a dark leaf up here. Just see what that does. So never, by the way, throw away your paintings. Always keep them, play with them. Point, press. Okay. I want to make that even darker. So I'm going to pick up some more value. Here we go. Really dark value. I think I'm even going to, I didn't realize I was going to be showing you this, so I didn't pre-wet and activate my paints. So that's why this is taking just a little bit longer to grab this paint. So point, press. Look at that. That is really interesting. Now I feel like I want a very light value coming out right here. I think that could be really pretty. So let's try that. I'm going back into my very watered down version, more paint versus water. And let's add one here. Point press. Look at that. How interesting is that? Point press. Now this just made a beautiful painting. I would do something with this now. Now that I went in, I added pen and ink. I added these little white dots with my white Winsor Newton paint. I might do that again. In the past, I have these gel white markers too, which I've used a lot. And I like playing with them. So here we go. I think, you know, doing this, going into your old paintings, trying some of these techniques that I've been sharing with you and just playing. But look at how beautiful. I actually really like this. I would frame this and put this in up on my wall. So I hope that gives you some ideas about playing with your paintings, going back through your old paintings, adding this pen and ink. You can simply use a zebra pen or any black ink pen, creating some depth and interest by adding in darker values. Again, the pen and ink, and just play and see what you come up with. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you know, you're enjoying these videos and it's giving you some different ways to play with your watercolors and your paintings. I am all about you know, enjoying this process and having fun with it and creating your unique styles. And as long as you are happy with it, you can make your sunflowers orange, green, yellow, purple. It's your unique style. Embrace your style, find your style, and go with that. So here is the other one I did. I feel like I saved. Now I might go in here and add some lighter values. That would be another way I could keep working with this. All right, everybody, have fun. And thank you so much for being here with me. I will try to keep bringing you some interesting techniques and tips and ways you can play and have fun. All right, everybody. Thank you, friends.